Right now at 5, it's time to put up that Christmas tree and decorate it as the holiday season is behind us. However, what do you do with the live Christmas tree after the holiday season? Amber Jenkins teaches us what to do with it once Christmas is over.
And it's going to start to feel a lot like Christmas as we head into next week. Still some cold weather to get through and some dry conditions. We're going to take a look at that full forecast coming up.
And 8 dogs are found wandering in Chanute, Kansas, but how they got there is a mystery to those in the town.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So another cold start for us today. I got some gas this morning. Boy, I was regretting that.
Well, good that you got your gas.
It is good that I got gas because it's only going to get colder, but at the same time, boy, it is chilly. You definitely want to bundle up out there for sure. So some different things that we are watching as we head into the next few days and into next week. One of the first things that we're watching, of course, is that we're going to be staying cold through the upcoming weekend, save Sunday, where we're looking at a slightly milder day for us. And then we're watching those snow chances as we head into next week. Right now in Joplin, we are cold and clear. 30 degrees, a west wind at 11, making it feel like 21 out there. Across the region, cold for sure. 28 Yates Center, 28 Parsons, 30 in Pittsburgh, Miami, Chautauqua, Carthage and Lamar, and Nevada, and Monette and Neosho. So as you can see, quite a few 30s out there on the board. MoDOT camera looking at I-44 from Rangeline. Looks good. Got a green light for your morning drive. Will be mostly clear and cold, and a green light for the drive home as will remain fairly clear and cold again. Kids getting on the bus needing that coat to and from school today. 30 degrees when they get on there. At West Breeze starting to pick up a bit, and later today it could gust upwards of about 30 miles an hour. 36 by 3 o'clock under partly cloudy skies. We'll have those passing clouds off and on, so partly to mostly clear skies. We'll have 39 degrees for an afternoon high today. Not a lot of warming going on, and as we head into tonight, 27. So what's interesting is our highs are fairly below average right now, but our lows are pretty close to average. So we're getting some kind of balance out there. It'll be mostly cleared tonight. It is going to remain cold as we head into the upcoming week. And again, we're watching those snow chances, so we will keep an eye on that for you. And we'll take a look at your extended forecast here in just a couple of minutes.
All right, sounds like we got a lot to talk about this
There's
morning.
a lot getting ready to change in the forecast, that's for sure. And not in a good, well, like we said yesterday, except for those who really like the cold. It's not going to change in a good way for the rest of us.
And we all know Chris is not one of those.
No, I told you I'm going to hibernate next week, I think.
All right, you might not be the only one. All right, thanks, Chris. Well, a Labette County judge sentences a Parsons, Kansas man to prison for child sex crimes. 38-year-old Jared Bybee gets life in prison without parole after pleading no contest to 2 counts of aggravated criminal sodomy. Crimes occurred between 2013 and 2016 and involved 2 victims under the age of 10. A Tulsa man faces 4 felony charges in Ottawa County for sex crimes involving children. Authorities arrested 30-year-old Michael Lamb Jr. and charged him for child solicitation and buying and possessing child pornography, among other crimes. He'll remain at the Tulsa County Jail until he is extradited to Ottawa County. Christmas season is upon us, and that means it's time to put up that Christmas tree. Well, some get an artificial tree, while others get a live one. However, not everyone knows what to do with their live Christmas tree after the holiday season. Amber Jenkins talked with both a Christmas tree farm and the Missouri Department of Conservation to learn more.
Live Christmas trees are a staple of the holiday season. Families have a tradition of going to a Christmas tree farm and picking out a tree. However, when the holiday season ends, many may not know how to repurpose a live Christmas tree. Christmas trees can become a source of feeding or shelter for small animals.
When the holidays are going on, this is a beautiful tree. It's all prettied up. Once the holidays are over with, it kind of becomes excess baggage sometimes for the home. Well, don't think of it like that. Just think of something you can repurpose and, give benefit to local wildlife.
Repurposing a live Christmas tree after the holidays can turn your tradition into a positive environmental impact.
Well, thanks, Amber. I'm curious, though, what is your personal Christmas tradition when it comes to whether you get a artificial or live tree?
Well, I seen the movie National Lampoon, and I was always scared of live Christmas trees because the little squirrel that like jumps out. Of course, that's the iconic part. But in fact, my family had a fake tree, and so each year we'll put it up. But of course, I still love decorating it, and of course, taking it down after the season ends.
Well, that's true. Plus, the price of live trees has really gone up, for sure.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much, Amber. Well, 8 dogs are found wandering around the town of Chanute, Kansas, but it's not clear how they got there. The citizens of Chanute captured the 8 dogs this week. A local groomer volunteered her time after hours to help groom the dogs' matted coats. Wagging Tails groomer says the dogs were not malnourished and recently had their dew claws clipped.
Once we shave them, they look completely healthy. It just would be like someone's family dog. And that's the hardest part to understand is someone was feeding them, taking the efforts to feed them and treat them for fleas and ticks because they had absolutely none on them.
All 8 dogs are safe right now with local families just in time for Christmas.
All right, that's 7-day forecast for you. We'll have that mild Sunday compared to what we're going to see, 42 for the high. And then we're watching that wintry mix and some snow possible Monday night into Tuesday morning. And then after that, we're going to get downright cold with more snow chances as we head into Christmas. As you can see, only 14 Christmas Eve with a low of 4 and only 15 by Christmas Eve day.
All right, that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, another local 4-state coach announces his retirement.
Plus, a Missouri school district approves to go to a 4-day week. However, parents in the district don't feel their voice was heard.
And yesterday marked the 2-year anniversary of the first COVID vaccine shot being given. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
The Carl Junction girls have had some pretty good luck in tournament action early in the season. The Bulldogs won the CJ Classic to begin the season, then finished second at the Tournament of Champions in Fort Smith, Arkansas last weekend. Now, last night, Carl Junction met Bentonville West in the Mustang Classic Championship game at McDonald County. The Bulldogs start fast. Chloe Burke finds sophomore Desi Williams. Williams finishes with 18 points. Now later, Kylie Scott knocks down the 3. Scott drops a team-high 19. Bulldogs lead 36-24 at half. After the break, Hallie Shorter sinks the triple. And then Destiny Berge in transition makes a few moves and lays it in. She's also in the double figures with 11. Carl Junction wins the Mustang Classic, cruising by Bentonville West 69-40. Carl Junction High School head football coach Doug Buckmaster has announced his retirement after 10 seasons leading the Bulldogs football program. Buckmaster made that announcement to his team earlier this evening at the end-of-season banquet. He led the Bulldogs to 71 wins in 10 years and a pair of Big 8 league titles. We talked to Buckmaster last night about his decision. You can find the full story on the sports page at KOAMNewsNow.com. The Missouri Southern women suffered their first loss of the season on Tuesday night. The third-ranked Lions fell to Central Missouri in a top 20 battle, 73-71 Tuesday. The Lions got a game-high 31 points from sophomore guard Lacey Stokes to go along with 6 rebounds and 6 assists. Amaya Johns was also in double figures with 15 points and 6 boards. Southern was down by as much as 15 in the fourth quarter. They did rally to get within 1 with under 2 minutes to go. It just wasn't enough to get back the lead.
We don't like being behind, but we're a team that has come from behind. We have a lot of grit, and I know every one of our girls is going to give it their all when we're in situations like that. We just need to carry that into playing the same at the beginning whenever that score is 0-0 to whenever, we're behind, 3 or 4.
Central Missouri is a very good team. They defend well, they score the ball well. They executed extremely well for the first 3 quarters offensively. I didn't think our defense met their challenge as far as what they did offensively, but I think our kids are going to learn from this and do some positive things going forward.
On the men's side, the Lions came away with a win, an 82-74 win over Central Missouri last night. It was a big night for Avery Taggart, 18 points, 11 boards, but a lot of different players stepped up with 4 Lions posting 15 or more points against the Mules.
Vincent Sigmund has been tremendous. That's not easy, taking over the point guard spot a little bit into the season. So he's been tremendous. He had 17 points tonight. And then Winston Destow has been awesome these past 3 games, just with his attitude, his leadership, and his defensive prowess out there. And he's shooting the ball extremely well right now. We need that. And then Avery Taggart has been awesome too. All 3 of those guys can come off a ball screen and make the correct read.
The Kansas City Chiefs hit the road to face the Houston Texans this Sunday. With a win, the Chiefs would earn their 7th straight AFC West title. Chiefs are 10-3 through their first 13 games of the season. On the other side, the Texans have the worst record in the league. They're 1-11-1. Even though they're pretty bad and probably playing for the #1 overall pick, they still have a head coach over there in Lovie Smith who's been around a while and knows what it takes to win.
He's going to give you a great defense that plays hard and aggressive, an offense that's tough. I mean, just the fact that they used 2 quarterbacks and platooned them. It wasn't because one wasn't doing well, but they platooned him in. And he's not afraid to do whatever he has to do to win the game. And so that's where the challenge comes in. And his guys...
Still to come, an Iranian soccer star could become the next target of ongoing Iranian executions. Plus, we've got another check of that chilly forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:16 on this Thursday morning. We are cold in Joplin. It's one of those situations, kind of like with the heat. You look outside, it looks all right. It's when you step outside that you notice that it is 30 degrees with a wind chill of 21 degrees. So it is cold. That's how it is across the area. 28 Yates Center, we got a bunch of 30s on the map. 28 Independence, 31 Veneta, and then those 30s, we got Chanute, Chatopa, Miami, Pittsburgh, Lamar, Nevada, Carthage, Monette, Neosho, lots of 30s out there. The thing is our highs over the next few days are below average, but our lows are pretty close to average. MoDOT camera at I-44 and Rangeline looking good. Green light for that morning drive as we'll be mostly clear, but on the chilly side, and a green light for your drive home as we'll have some passing clouds, otherwise just some cold conditions. Kids will need a coat getting on and off that bus. 30 degrees at 7 a.m. West breeze picking up about 10 to 20. Later today, could gust upwards of about 30. Otherwise, we're looking at 36, partly cloudy by 3 o'clock. We'll be mostly clear to partly cloudy throughout the day, some passing clouds, an afternoon high of 39 degrees. And as we head into tonight, we'll be partly cloudy to maybe even mostly clear as the evening progresses, and that's going to allow us to get downright cold, down to 27 for our overnight low. The future track over the next few days doesn't show a lot. It's not until we get into next week that we start to see the changes. That's when we could see the wintry mix. That's when we could see some snow build into the area. This is Monday by noon. We could see some snow. Tuesday morning, we could see some snow. A break from snow on Wednesday, and then we could see some additional snow chances as we head toward the end of next week as well. So let's take a look at that 7-day forecast. This is going to feel great compared to what we're going to experience next week. We're going to stay in the 30s through Saturday, and we'll have a slightly more normal day on Sunday with a high of 42. Then we get cold again. 38 Monday, temperatures will fall. We'll see some wintry mix, some snow, down to 25 Monday night, some early snow on Tuesday, 30. 36 to Wednesday, 33 on Thursday, another wintry mix, temperatures plummet down to 8 degrees Thursday night. Friday, we're up to 14, 14, with some snow chances, down to 4 degrees next Friday night, 4. That's going to be absolutely cold. And by Christmas Eve, we're looking at 15 degrees and mostly cloudy skies. So depending on how this system plays out, we could see a white Christmas because it's not going to warm up a lot. By Christmas Day, we're still looking at temperatures in the teens. So if we do get snow that Thursday and Friday, it's not really going to do a lot of melting before Christmas Day. But we'll see, and we'll keep an eye on this for you as we get closer. Well, officials with the Missouri School District have approved a huge change that's not sitting well with some parents. School board voted Tuesday night for a 4-day school week. As Jackson Kurtz explains, district officials say they hope this change will help attract and keep more teachers.
All in favor, please say aye.
At the start of the 2023-2024 school year, students and some staff at independent schools will move to a 4-day school week.
We really need to take advantage, be pioneers. Let Independence be the landmark.
The district says the new schedule will increase teacher recruitment and retention.
I understand, again, that
You know, this is a difficult choice, but at the end of the day, what really we have to consider is we have to remain focused on what the primary function of a school district is.
Many teachers say the 4-day week will help with burnout, give them more time for planning, and reduce stress.
And we have to believe that what we're doing will make life better for others.
Parents we spoke with say their biggest concern is childcare.
Well, if I want to use the district services, I'm going to spend about $1,400 putting them in childcare. I would prefer not to do that.
And many feel the school board did not listen to all community voices.
Wish there would have been more opportunity for community engagement. There was one open forum. It was planned 1 week before, like parents were informed 1 week ahead of the date, and there were questions that were submitted that were never asked.
Now, with this change, students and some staff will have Mondays off. School days the rest of the week will be 35 minutes longer to make up the required difference. That brings us to our question for you this morning. Should schools switch to 4-day weeks? You can vote yes or no and do so through our website at koamnewsnow.com/vote. You can also do so through our app and take part in the discussion. Share your thoughts on our Facebook page. We're going to be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, Wednesday marks 2 years since the first COVID-19 vaccination shot was injected into an arm. Since then, nearly 660 million doses have been distributed, and according to a new study, it made a difference. The Commonwealth Fund and Yale School of Public Health issued a report saying roughly 3.2 million COVID-19 deaths were prevented because of the vaccine. The findings, based on their data from December of 2020 through November of this year, also say nearly 19 million COVID hospitalizations were staved off by the shots. While some health officials admit the overall effectiveness of COVID-19 vaccines have faded because of variants, they say they still provide proper protection from the virus. Well, the cold temperatures are dipping, but that does not mean you cannot continue staying active outside. Health experts say there are many benefits to year-round exercise if you do it the right way. Mandy Gaither has more on how to make the most of outdoor workouts even when it's cold outside.
It's the most wonderful time of the year to continue staying active.
During the winter times, particularly during the holiday seasons, we actually consume a lot more calories. And because of that, we need to maintain our fitness even more so to make sure we counteract that effect.
Sports medicine Dr. Timothy Miller at Ohio State's Wexner Medical Center says year-round exercise is critical for both mental and physical health. And he says you get more bang out of your workout in the winter months.
That because our bodies have to work a little bit harder with regard to our metabolism to help maintain our core body temperature, we can actually burn more calories in cold weather training than we can during warm weather training.
To do that safely, Miller says to dress appropriately. 50 degrees Fahrenheit and over, he says one layer is probably enough. Every 10 to 15 degrees below 50, add one more layer. He says the deepest layer should wick moisture away from the body. The second layer should be a fleece or synthetic wool that holds some heat in. And if it's rainy or windy, he says a third layer should be a nylon shell to protect your body from the elements. He also says to conserve energy and maintain body heat by doing the hardest part of your workout first.
If you're going to run, let's say an out and back run, I encourage people to run toward the wind first. That way they get the most difficult portion of it out of the way.
And even when it's cold out, staying hydrated is important.
In general, we recommend about a liter of extra fluid for every hour's worth of a vigorous exercise.
Well, Miller says we tend to get less vitamin D in winter months. He recommends using supplements to help keep levels up for those who are active when it is cold out. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we are cold as we start our Thursday across the area. We got clear skies. We're sitting at 30 with a wind chill of 21 with that westerly breeze at about 11 miles an hour. 28 Yates Center, Neotis J. Parsons, 29 Pittsburgh, 30 Lamar, Carthage, Neosho, and 31 down in Anderson. MoDOT camera at I-44 and Range Line looking good so far. Green light for your morning drive as will be mostly clear and cold. Same story for the drive home. Green light, mostly clear and cold. Kids getting on the bus need that coat to and from school. 30 degrees this morning. West wind starting to pick up a bit. And by this afternoon could be gusting upwards of 30. 36 by 3 o'clock. Partly cloudy skies. We'll have mostly clear to partly cloudy skies throughout the day. Heading for a high of 39 degrees. And as we head into tonight, we are going to get cold. We'll be clear to mostly clear as we drop back down to a low of 27. But this isn't as cold as it's going to get. We'll take a look at your full forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Right now at 5:30, it's time to put up that Christmas tree and decorate it as the holiday season is upon us. However, what do you do with a live Christmas tree after the holiday season? Amber Jenkins shows us what you can do.
Now we've got a cold start to the day. It doesn't look like it, but each of these vehicles, I guarantee, have their heaters on this morning. We're going to talk about our cold temperatures and some snow chances coming up.
And 8 dogs are found wandering in Chinook, Kansas, but how they got there is a mystery to those in the town.
The 4 states.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 5:30. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. I love how that froze. We're just the 4 states. You pay attention, okay? Right now.
Good
morning.
Listen.
You listen to us. We have things to tell you of importance that you don't want to miss.
And
like
a lot
what?
of that has to do with the cold weather coming in.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, we go from one extreme to the other. Like
Yeah,
when
we
I
do.
first came to the morning weather, we were in one of the biggest heat waves we've seen in several years, and one of the worst droughts we've seen in quite some time too. Now we're heading into the winter, and I'm just bringing just absolutely
Well, here's the
great
problem.
news.
You complained about only being able to talk about that for weeks on end.
Oh, I know it. So Mother Nature said, hey, you got something else you can talk about now.
Give me
It's going to be
something,
cold.
yeah.
And it is a cold start to our day right now in Joplin. We got clear skies. We're at 30 degrees, west wind at 11, making it feel like 21. We've got a lot of 30s on the board. Some places are cooler, like Iola at 27, 28, Fort Scott, 29, Pittsburgh, 30 down Miami, Neosho, 29 in Monette. And take a look at the I-44 camera from MoDOT. Those cars, you can't tell it, but I guarantee their heat is on because it is chilly. We have a green light for your morning drive. We'll be mostly clear and cold, and we're just going to rinse, wash, and repeat. Yes, that's what we're doing for your drive home. Okay, I'm just not with it this morning. I don't know what's going on. Kids getting on the bus, need a coat going to and from school. 30 degrees, mostly clear. West wind picking up a bit. Could gust to 30 later today. 36 by 3 o'clock. Partly cloudy skies, and we'll have mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. So a little more sun today than what we saw yesterday, but not any warmer. 39 for the high. And then as we head into tonight, we'll be mostly clear to partly cloudy yet again. We're going to drop back down to a low of 27 degrees, but that is not as cold as it's going to get over the next several days, and we'll talk about that and those snow chances in the extended forecast here in just a couple of minutes.
All right. Is it wash, rinse, and repeat or rinse, wash, and repeat?
It is wash, rinse, repeat. I knew that wasn't right.
Do you necessarily have to repeat?
Not often. Not often at all, which is nice. You know, there are advantages to being a little hairless up top. There's not as there's not as much maintenance.
Don't have to use as much product. There you go.
Exactly. And it's easy to cut my hair at home if I need to.
There you go. All right, thanks, Chris. Well, Labette County judge sentences a Parsons, Kansas man to prison for child sex crimes. 38-year-old Jared Bybee gets life in prison without parole after pleading no contest to 2 counts of aggravated criminal sodomy. Crimes occurred between 2013 and 2016 and involved 2 victims under the age of 10. A Tulsa man faces 4 felony charges in Ottawa County for sex crimes involving children. Authorities arrested 30-year-old Michael Lamb Jr. and charged him for child solicitation and buying and possessing child pornography, among other crimes. He will remain at the Tulsa County Jail until he is extradited to Ottawa County. The Christmas season is upon us, and that means it's time to put up that Christmas tree, if you haven't done it yet. Well, some of us get artificial trees while others get a live one. However, not everyone knows what to do with their live Christmas tree after the holiday season. Amber Jenkins talked with both the Christmas Tree Farm and the Missouri Department of Conservation to learn more.
Thank you, Tanya. Live Christmas trees are a staple of the holiday season. Families have a tradition of going to a Christmas tree farm and picking out a tree. However, when the holiday season ends, many may not know how to repurpose a live Christmas tree. Live Christmas trees can become a source of feeding or shelter for small animals.
When the holidays are going on, this is a beautiful tree. It's all prettied up. Once the holidays are over with, it kind of becomes excess baggage sometimes for the home. Well, don't think of it like that. Just think of something you can repurpose and, give benefit to local wildlife.
Repurposing a live Christmas tree after the holidays can turn your tradition into a positive environmental impact.
Thanks, Amber. Did Francis give you some ideas of specifically how to repurpose them, what you can do?
Yes, he was talking about how if you have a bunch of acre, if you're outside the city, you can put your live Christmas tree with no decorations on it, put it outside your yard, and make sure you put it on the north side of your yard because the birds like to feed on the south end. And so he was talking about how if you like bird watching, want to see a little cardinal or something, do that and you can have easy entertainment.
Creates a great habitat for them. All right, thank you so much. 8 poodle mix dogs were found wandering around the town of Chanute, Kansas, but it's not clear how they got there. Citizens of Chanute captured the 9 dogs this week. A local groomer volunteered her time after hours to help groom the dogs' matted coats. Wagging Tails groomer said the dogs were not malnourished and recently had their dew claws clipped.
Everyone's kind of thinking, did they get out from their family? Like, were they just running loose? And the condition that these dogs are in, it's taken months, like months, for them to get as bad as they are.
All 8 dogs are safe with local families just in time for Christmas. Well, this morning we're discussing schools going to 4-day weeks.
At the start of the 2023-2024 school year, students and some staff at Independence, Missouri schools will move to a 4-day school week. District says the new schedule will increase teacher recruitment and retention.
Now, many teachers say the 4-day week will help with burnout, giving them more time for planning and will reduce stress. Parents say their biggest concern is childcare. Many feel the school board did not listen to all community voices.
That brings us to our question for you this morning. Should schools switch to 4-day weeks? And so far, 63% of you say yes, 37% of you say no. Make sure you vote through our website, through our app, and take part in the discussion on our Facebook page. Quick check of that 7-day forecast. We're going to hold on to the 30s heading into the weekend. 42 on Sunday, wintry mix, and then some snow possible Monday into Monday night and Tuesday as well. We get a little break from that, and then by Thursday we see more snow if possible, down to 8 Thursday night, 14 on Friday with more snow possible, 4 degrees Friday night, and 15 degrees as we head into Christmas Eve, mostly cloudy skies on Christmas Eve day.
I saw Santa waving. That means that's the day he gets on the sleigh and hits the sky. All right, that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, a dog who went missing from California turns up in a Kansas field 14 months later.
Plus, a U.S. citizen is freed after Ukraine swaps prisoners with Russia amidst the war. We'll have the latest.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch, the Global Soccer Players Union is expressing concern over reports that Iran may execute a soccer player for participating in ongoing anti-government protest in the country. Union says it's, quote, shocked and sickened by these reports and stands in solidarity with the player. Salma Albadaliz has more.
There are concerns that Iran is preparing to execute yet another protester, Amir Nasser Azadani, a 26-year-old professional soccer player. He's played for Iran's national youth team for several major clubs inside the country. Now, he was detained on November 27th, and Iran's authorities accused this 26-year-old of being involved in an armed group and allegedly carrying out the killing of several members of the security forces. But activist rights groups say these are absolutely false allegations, that he's really the victim of a sham trial of these expedited death penalty proceedings that have already led to the execution of 2 other protesters just in the last few days. And it's of course not the first time that we've seen soccer in the crosshairs of Iran's crackdown. You'll remember that very shocking moment during the World Cup when Iran's football team refused to sing their national anthem. And then later we heard their families were threatened, according to activists, by authorities. Now serious fears and concerns that Amir Nasser Azadani could be Iran's next target.
An American citizen is free after a prisoner swap between Ukraine and Russia. The U.S. citizen, Swedi Morezkezi, was released by Russia as part of a large prisoner swap involving dozens of detainees. That's according to a Ukrainian official. Over 60 Ukrainians and 4 fallen soldiers were handed over in exchange for an unknown amount of Russians. Morezkezi was helping Ukrainians before ending up in Russian custody. Russian state TV claimed Morezkezi was charged with inciting ethnic hatred for protesting the Russian invasion. Morezkezi's lawyer denied that. It's not known where and when the exchange took place. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, I've got a lot of things that we're keeping an eye on. We're going to stay cold through the first half of the weekend, and we'll see a slightly milder Sunday for us. And then we're keeping an eye on those snow chances as we head into next week. Right now, we are cold in Joplin. Doesn't look that way, but once I show you the temperatures, or if you step outside, you'll notice it is cold. Clear skies, 30 degrees, west breeze at 11, making it feel like 21 out there. We're looking at temperatures pretty cold, 28 in Yates Center, Neodesha, 30 Chanute, 29 Pittsburgh, 30 Lamar and Carthage, as well as in Miami. Live look at the MoDOT camera, looking at I-44 from Range Line, looking good so far, and we do have a green light for your morning drive, as we'll be mostly clear and on the cold side, and we will repeat that for the drive home, a green light, mostly clear, also on the cold side. Kids getting on the bus, they're going to need that jacket. We're looking at 30 degrees today, not just a jacket, they're going to need a coat. With the west wind starting to pick up at about 10 to 20 by 7 a.m., and then by the time they get home, those gusts could reach 30 miles an hour, looking at 36 and partly cloudy. As we go through today, we're going to have mostly clear to partly cloudy skies, a few passing clouds out there, 39 for the high. Our high is below average, but our low tonight is pretty close to average. We're looking to drop back down to 27 under mostly clear skies as we head into the overnight. Now, as we head through the rest of this week, we stay dry, we stay cold, but not as cold as it's about to get. And as we head into next week, though, that's where the changes arrive. Monday morning, here comes our next system, and that's going to bring us a chance of some wintry mix, maybe some snow across the area, and that'll last into early Tuesday morning. And then following that, things are going to get just downright cold. So we're heading for 37 tomorrow, 36 by Saturday, 42 on Sunday, so that's actually a little closer to normal for us. We're going to start at 38 Monday. Temperatures will fall through the day. We'll have that wintry mix, maybe some snow possible, down to 25. 30 on Tuesday with some flurries possible, and then down to 18. And then we're not going to do a lot of warming after that. 36 Wednesday, partly cloudy. Next system comes in, an Arctic cold front on its way. 33 on Thursday, next Thursday, we've got that wintry mix, maybe some snow, down to 8 degrees by Thursday night, only making it to 14 by Friday. More snow possible on Friday, and again, only 14. Down to 4 Friday night, and for Christmas Eve day, we're looking at 15 for the high with mostly cloudy skies. Now, right now, we've still got a lot to keep an eye on with the snow next week. If we really do get some reasonable snowfall Thursday and Friday next week, we could have a white Christmas in the sense that it's obviously not going to do a lot of warming. Still looking at the teens by Christmas Day, so that snow should stick around. Through Monday and Tuesday, computer models are still widely varied on how much snow we're going to get. They're still showing anywhere from roughly a quarter inch upwards of possibly 4 inches. At some of our far western counties, they're showing anywhere between 2 and 6 inches right now. But again, a lot is going to change between now and Monday, and we'll have updates for you tomorrow and, of course, through the weekend with Sam Lane. And by Monday, we'll be certain on exactly how much snow we're going to get. And that's still not counting in any potential snowfall later next week. And we're going to keep an eye on all of that for you as we head through the next several days. We got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A Labette County judge sentences a Parsons, Kansas man to prison for child sex crimes. 38-year-old Jared Bybee gets life in prison without parole after pleading no contest to 2 counts of aggravated criminal sodomy. Crimes occurred between 2013 and 2016 and involved 2 victims under the age of 10. A Tulsa man faces 4 felony charges in Ottawa County for sex crimes involving children. Authorities arrested 30-year-old Michael Lamb Jr. and charged him for child solicitation and buying and possessing child pornography, among other crimes. He will remain at the Tulsa County Jail until he is extradited to Ottawa County. 8 dogs are found wandering around the town of Chanute, Kansas, but it's not clear how they got there. Citizens of Chanute captured the 8 dogs this week. A local groomer volunteered her time after hours to help groom the dogs' matted coats. Wagon Tail's groomer said the dogs were not malnourished and recently had their dew claws clipped. Kansas Company hosted an awards ceremony celebrating fundraising efforts for a national organization. The Pump and Pete's Corporation hosted the ceremony in Parsons, Kansas. The awards were given to donors and fundraising campaign for the CASA program. CASA, or Court-Appointed Special Advocate, supports abused or neglected children in court. Awards handed out include Most Funds Raised and Best Donation to Sale Ratio. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
Quick check of that forecast. A cold start to today, and we'll make it up to 39 under mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. Holding on to mostly clear to partly cloudy skies tonight, dropping back down to a low of 27. And as we look at the 7-day forecast, we are going to stay in the 30s through at least Saturday. A little warmer on Sunday, and then we're watching some wintry mixed snow chances on Monday, 38, down to 30 on Tuesday with the possibility of some light snow. I'll make it back up to 36 by next Wednesday with partly cloudy skies. We'll be right back after this.
A California woman knows exactly what she's getting for Christmas: her long-lost dog. Sandra O'Neill is anxiously waiting for the return of her dog, Zeppelin, what a cool name, who went missing more than a year ago.
He was recently found across the country in Kansas. Morgan Mobley brings us the rest of the story.
This is Zeppelin, a California boy found right here in Kansas. A chain of Good Samaritans and small miracles just might give his owner the best Christmas gift she has ever received.
Went out to the pasture to see what our dog was barking at and found him.
Heather Reichert finds strays in her pasture all the time, but something told her this one was different.
Ultimately decided to keep him at the house overnight and then brought him in yesterday morning. And then the rest is history.
She brought him into the Wildcat Vet Clinic in Lewisburg, where he was identified through his microchip.
And so you just scan that, and that number that comes up is pretty cool. So you just type this in on the web.
His home, 1,625 miles away in Sacramento, California.
We were sitting here this morning talking about we wish he could tell us a story about where he's been.
14 months after he went missing, his owner, Sandra O'Neill, sees him for the first time over FaceTime.
Hi, baby. How are you? You ready to come home?
Hope was never fully lost. The day before he was found, she sent up a prayer for his return.
I drove by where the last time I saw him, and I said a little prayer. I said, Sophie, I hope you make it home someday. Zeppelin. And the very next morning, I got the call that he was found.
Reichert is overcome with emotion, getting to play a part in Zeppelin's homecoming.
Emotional. I'm happy for the family, but it's a crazy time of year. And to think he's been gone for 14 months.
Now comes the long trek home, complete strangers already jumping on board to be part of this journey.
It's 1,625 miles, so a pretty long drive.
One way or another, by car or by plane, this boy is homeward bound. Every mile traveled to make this happen, restoring his owner's faith in humanity and belief in miracles.
I know you don't know us, you don't know the dog, and I just appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for everything anybody's done to promote him coming home. It's just a blessing, and Merry Christmas to all of you.
What
That's
a sweet
awesome.
story. Oh my goodness. Well, a request has been put in to fly Zeppelin home even sooner. but another driver is needed to make it happen.
That's an amazing story. We've had a couple of those this week with them.
Power of that microchip. It's
Yeah,
so important.
you want to make sure that you microchip your pets because these stories that we've been running have been showing the importance of doing just that. We got another check of that cold forecast when we come back. All right, you cannot take a nap in this studio because Tanya will wake you up forcefully, as I have just learned. All right, it is cold across the region. I just cannot believe that just happened. 29 feels like 19 right now. That's west-southwest breeze at 11 miles an hour. 29 Pittsburgh, 28 Parsons, 30 Chautauqua, Miami, as well as in Lamar and Carthage this morning. Live look at the MoDOT camera at I-44 and Rangeline. We're looking pretty good so far. Got a green light for your morning drive as we're clear and cold, and same for the drive home as we are clear and cold. Kids getting on the bus need a coat going to and from school. So it'll be 30 degrees by 7 a.m. West breeze picking up, though, about 10 to 20 miles an hour. So take into account what that's going to do to wind chills. And then we're looking at 36 later today, partly cloudy. Winds could gust up to 30. So we're talking wind chills in the upper 20s and lower 30s across the area today. 39 for the high, mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. And as we head into tonight, we're going to be 27. So our highs are below normal, but our lows are actually, at least for right now, pretty close to normal, even though they are cold compared to what we have been used to. As we head into the next few days, we stay in the 30s, 37 tomorrow, 36 Saturday, up to 42 Sunday, so closer to normal. 38 Monday, wintry mix possible, turning into some snow Monday night into Tuesday, down to 25 and then 30. 36 Wednesday, 33 by Thursday, more wintry mix, more snow possible, down to 8 degrees Thursday night, up to 14 on Friday with more snow possible. Down to 4 degrees by Friday night, and by Christmas Eve day, we're only at 15 degrees and mostly cloudy skies. And current indications are we're not going to do a lot of warming for Christmas Day either. We got a lot more of the KOAM Morning News when we come back.
Right now at 6, a Parsons, Kansas man will go to prison after pleading guilty in a Labette County court to child sex crimes.
You're going to want to turn your heater on for the morning drive as we are cold, and we're going to stay that way. We're going to break down the cold forecast and some snow chances next week coming up.
And want to know about an environmentally friendly way to get rid of your Christmas tree? Amber Jenkins sits down with some experts to find out how.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. Did you all see the squirrel again? And I heard them shouting that it was just for me. There's that squirrel. So now I'm lost. What are we doing? Where are we? Sports. We're doing sports is what they said. So let's get on it. Let's do some sports. No, we are, honestly, just between what just happened a few minutes ago and the fact that it's so cold, I really don't know where I am right now. I don't know what's happening this morning.
The goal was to get you in line, not to mess you up further.
Yeah, no, it didn't help at all. Hey, but Chef Anthony's here. He's got a delicious recipe for later.
Ooh, candied nuts. I'm excited.
Yes, it is. Now he's making faces. This morning's not starting off too well for me. I'm going back to bed after this, so I'll tell you what's going on. It's cold right now in Joplin. We are clear, cold, 29. Feels like 19 out there, and that's just with the west-southwest breeze at 11. It's going to pick up later. We're looking at 28 in Parsons, Chautauqua, Miami, 29 Carthage, Lamar, and 30 over in Chanute. We got a green light for your morning drive. It's going to be clear and cold, and same thing for your drive home, clear and cold. So at least good news for traveling today. Kids getting on the bus, needing a coat on and off of that bus. 30 degrees, west wind starts to pick up 10 to 20 miles an hour by 7 a.m. By 3 p.m., we could see gusts upwards of 30. We're looking at 36 by 3 o'clock and partly cloudy skies. For today, a below average high of 39 degrees with mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. And with the wind blowing, could see some wind chills back down into the upper 20s and lower 30s. So just be aware of that. And as we head into this evening, our low is actually close to seasonable for this time of year, back down to 27. It's cold, but right about where it should be. We're going to be mostly clear and partly cloudy as we head into tonight. But this is not as cold as it's going to get. It's going to get colder yet as we head into next week. So we're going to talk about the upcoming snow chances and the possibility of a white Christmas here in just a couple of minutes. And I'll explain that here in a second.
That's right. I'm looking forward to that explanation.
If I can remember the explanation after everything that's gone on this morning.
Don't look at me.
It's been a wild, rough morning.
All right, let's move along. A Labette County judge sentences a Parsons, Kansas man to prison for child sex crimes. 38-year-old Jared Bybee gets life in prison without parole after pleading no contest to 2 counts of aggravated criminal sodomy. The crimes occurred between 2013 and 2016 and involved 2 victims under the age of 10. President Biden declared Wednesday a day of remembrance, marking 10 years since the mass shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary in Newtown, Connecticut, where a gunman opened fire and killed 20 children and 6 adults. A decade after this tragedy, there have been nearly 4,300 mass shootings, 38 of them at schools. Nikki Batiste spoke with parents who are honoring their children's lives by working to protect other families from gun violence.
Dylan was this gorgeous little boy with these gigantic blue eyes. He was always smiling and laughing.
On the last day of Daniel's life, so I taught him how to play Jingle Bells.
1 month after Nicole Hockley and Mark Barden lost their young sons, 6-year-old Dylan and 7-year-old Daniel, they helped launch Sandy Hook Promise, a nonprofit focused on protecting America's children from gun violence. Its Know the Signs programs are used in more than 23,000 schools nationwide, which the group says have helped stop at least 11 credible planned school shootings in 7 states.
The spectrum of violence it's an escalating thing. Someone doesn't go straight to suicide or homicide. So we're focused on how do we, at the earlier end of that scale, intervene and get help.
In June, President Biden signed into law the bipartisan Safer Communities Act. It includes enhanced background checks for people 18 to 21 and invests money in mental health resources and red flag laws, which allow authorities to take guns from people deemed dangerous.
First of all, I want people to know who Daniel was. And then to think, what can I do to be part of the change to make sure that that doesn't happen again?
And I want them to look at my son and see their own children in his eyes and think about what can you do as a parent, grandparent, aunt, uncle to take meaningful action so that this never happens to you.
Or anyone.
Or anyone.
The Federal Reserve, as expected, announced a half-point interest rate increase, taking its benchmark to the highest level in 15 years. Fed also signaled there are likely more rate hikes to come next year. There are some signs that its campaign against the hottest inflation in 4 decades is paying off, with the Consumer Price Index last month easing to its slowest rate of inflation since December of 2021. We'll have more on the Federal Reserve's decision later in the show. Well, even though Christmas is not officially here yet, some people may be wondering what to do with their live trees after the holiday. KOAM's Amber Jenkins joins us live in studio with the answer to that question. Good morning, Amber.
Good morning, Tanya. Live Christmas trees are a staple of the holiday season. Families have a tradition of going to a Christmas tree farm and picking out a tree. However, when the holiday season ends, many may not know how to repurpose a Christmas tree. Live Christmas trees can become a source of feeding or shelter for small animals.
The birds will feed on the south side of it. So if you want to use this to provide yourself some bird feeding entertainment, some viewing entertainment, make sure to put it on the north side of your house, because that way the birds will be feeding on the south side of that tree.
Repurposing a live Christmas tree after the holidays can turn your tradition into a positive environmental impact.
All right. What if you want to get rid of your tree, but you want to be environmentally aware? Is there anywhere close, like a tree? Say you live in town and you can't put it in your yard for the bird watching. What do you do with it then?
I also, while talking to one of the experts, he also mentioned that you can go to your local city's public works, and many towns have this. You can drop your tree off and they'll change it into put it into mulch, and usually that mulch will become free. You can come pick it up and use it for another purpose. So there's also different ways that you can still stay environmental friendly while repurposing your tree.
There you go. All right, thanks, Amber. Well, it seems everyone is getting into the holiday spirit, even the Grinch. The annual tradition of getting your picture taken with the Grinch took place last night at Gringo's in Joplin. While there was no charge for the photos, participants were encouraged to make a donation of any amount to help benefit Moving Mountains in Newton County. Now, Moving Mountains is a nonprofit organization with a focus on helping underprivileged children in the area acquire the things they need for school. You can read more about the event and the organization Moving Mountains on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com.
All right, we're in the 30s through Saturday, 42 Sunday. We got that wintry mix and some snow possible Monday into Tuesday. We're all right on Wednesday, and then more wintry precipitation Thursday and Friday. As you can see, temperatures drop. We're down to 8 Thursday night, only 14 Friday, 4 Friday night, and only 15 on Saturday. So Christmas Day right now is also looking to be in the teens. So if we do see snow, this is what I wanted to explain. If we do see snow Thursday and Friday, then it's not really going to melt between then and Christmas Day, so we may end up with a white Christmas that way. And we're also looking at the snow totals for Monday and Tuesday. Still a lot of variance, anywhere from a 1/4 inch upwards of 6 inches in our western counties. So we'll keep an eye on that, and Sam Lane will have the latest on those estimations as we head through the weekend.
All right, that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, Chef Anthony Fisher from Pittsburgh High School drops by our studio with a recipe for candied nuts that you just may want to use at your next holiday gathering.
Plus, a judge orders the man accused of a brutal attack on House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband to stand trial for the home invasion.
And if COVID affected your sense of smell or taste, there may be some good news coming out of a recent study. We've got the details. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Chef Anthony Test Kitchen. We are here, of course, with Chef Anthony. I'm supposed to ask you if you enjoy the cold weather.
I do enjoy the cold weather, much more than I do the heat.
Really?
I sleep better when it's cold, so.
And in cold weather, you can make fun recipes like this that are perfect for holiday gatherings.
Yes, this one's perfect for your next holiday gathering. So if you don't know what you want to have to take to that school party or something that you have to take to work, this is perfect because you can adapt this to all sorts of ways. So this is just traditional holiday flavors and smells, and they're gonna love it. So we're gonna start with some sugar, and we're just gonna throw it in here. And we're gonna take some cinnamon and add it, and a little bit of salt. Now I'm gonna take my whisk before I do the wet stuff, and I'm gonna mix this around a little bit so that it blends.
And I noticed you're doing this in a pot and not in the mixing bowl first?
Yes, I'm just using the pot as a vessel to hold this. It's a little bit, you can do it in a pot, you can do it in a bowl, it doesn't matter. The pot was just handy. So I have a good little mix in here, and you can see that everything's incorporated very nicely.
Nice, little cinnamon sugar.
So there you go. And there's no heavy brown spots, so you got a good mix. And we're gonna next take a little bit of water. I believe it's a teaspoon of water. And 1 egg white. And I love these eggs. These farm fresh eggs from Simon Market are absolutely wonderful.
Do you save your yolks for other purposes? Or?
Usually I would. Like if I was at school, I'd save it and make myself some lunch.
Yeah.
And we're gonna whip our egg white in a little bit of water until we get frothy.
Now, why are we just using the whites and not the whole egg?
Because all we need is the protein from the white to mix with the water and loosen up. It's going to make a coating for our nuts.
Okay.
So that the
It would just
sweetness,
be too much?
It would be too much. Well, when you put the yolk in there, the yolk's going to cook differently.
Mhm.
The white you won't taste.
Okay.
So we're going to get all nice and frothy. And it doesn't take long.
Okay.
And we're going to take about a pound of nuts.
It's about to get nutty in this test kitchen. I've been wanting to say that. I'm sorry.
It's always a little nutty in here. And we're just going to toss them in there until everything's coated.
Okay.
And just like so. Real simple, real easy. Everything's kind of shining and glistening.
But you still haven't transferred it to the sugar, so you're doing that now.
And then we're just going to toss in our sugar mixture.
Seems really simple.
It is very simple. Just like that. Now, I'm going to move this out of the way. We're going to come right over here to that pan. And we're going to give them just a little shake. You want the loose stuff to fall off, and set them right onto your baking sheet. I do this when I play with the flavors. I've done some spicy, I've done some sweet, seriously savory candied nuts. And I teach this one in my class because it is so simple.
Just a matter of what spice would you add, like cayenne or something?
I've added cayenne to it. There's not much I haven't done with it.
It's just whatever you add to your dry ingredients.
And look for amplifiers like ginger is a great amplifier of flavor. So if you want that spicy one, add a little ginger to, say, some cayenne, or a little bit of cayenne, a little bit of sugar goes really well, sweet, spicy. And then that ginger will help convey some of those flavors over. And we're just going to lay them on like that. Spread them out all nice and even. And then this is going to go into an oven at 250 degrees for anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes.
Okay.
And we're going to stir them every once in a while and keep them from sticking. You're going to see the sugar start to bubble and
I was
stuff
about to
on
ask,
top.
how do you know when they're done?
You'll stop seeing a lot of the cooking of the sugar. So when it comes out, just let them cool for a minute, break them right up. Make sure you put it on a piece of parchment paper.
Otherwise they stick to the pan?
They stick to the pan, and
How do you avoid from burning them though?
just watch them.
Just keep watching them. And that low temperature is essential
Yes,
too.
that low temperature is really essential. Don't put them in there. Oh, it says he said 15 minutes. Put them in there and then walk away.
All right, well, we will pop these in the oven at 250, and we'll come back at our next hour on the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 and test out Chef Anthony's candied nuts. All right, we'll be right back.
Topping Nation Watch this morning, a judge has ordered David DePape to stand trial on state charges stemming from the brutal home invasion assault on Paul Pelosi, the 82-year-old husband of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Hours of testimony during a preliminary hearing Wednesday revealed more details of the terrifying attack and that the suspect had a list of other prominent figures he had planned to target. Jared Hill has more.
Prosecutors in San Francisco used 911 audio, police body cam video, and chilling sworn testimony to lay out their case against David DePape, the man accused of attacking House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband. A police officer showed the hammer that was allegedly used to break into the Pelosi residence on October 28th and demonstrated how the suspect struck Paul Pelosi's head. Authorities say the House Speaker herself was the intended target. Another officer testified that DePape had said, quote, "There's evil in Washington," and that he listed other potential targets, including the president's son, Hunter Biden, California Governor Gavin Newsom, and actor Tom Hanks.
I certainly do hope that this sends a strong message, this case in general, and just the facts of what happened, send a clear message to the country that things have gone too far and that we must tone down our rhetoric.
A superior court determined there was enough evidence to move forward with prosecution on all state charges. DePape previously pled not guilty to multiple state and federal charges, including attempted murder.
Mr. DePape's going to be fighting his case in court, not in hallway. Thank you.
Filmmaker Alexandra Pelosi recently spoke about her father's recovery to CBS News' John Dickerson.
Now, Paul and Nancy Pelosi were not present during yesterday's hearing, though one of their 5 adult children, Christine, was. David DePape is due back in court on December 28th for formal arraignment. As we look at one of today's top national stories, here's what we're taking a look at here in the forecast. It's cold weather. It's going to stay cold through the rest of the week into Saturday. We're at 29 right now in Joplin with a wind chill of 19 out there. Across the region, we have a cold start to the day. 30 in Chanute, 28 Parsons, 30 Miami, 29 Neosho, Carthage, and Lamar. MoDOT camera at I-44 and Rangeline, we're looking good so far, and from the weather department, we are looking good as well. Green light will be mostly clear and cold, and same for the drive home, mostly clear and cold. Kids getting on the bus need a coat going to and from school today, so we're looking at 30 degrees, west wind at about 10 to 20 this morning, and then by 3, that wind could be gusting to 30, will be 36 and mostly cloudy by 3 o'clock. Heading for a high today of 39, so below where we should be, but we'll otherwise see a little more sunshine. Mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. Same for tonight. Mostly clear, partly cloudy, back down to a somewhat more seasonable low. Even though it's cold, it's about where we should be at 27. As we head through the week, 37 tomorrow, 36 on Saturday, 42 on Sunday, closer to normal for the high. Then maybe a wintry mix, some snow Monday into Monday night into Tuesday. Cold on Wednesday as well. More snow possible Thursday and Friday, down to 8 Thursday night, 14 by Friday, 4 by Friday night, and only 15 degrees by Christmas Eve day. We've got a lot more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, gun deaths jumped from 2019 to 2020, and most of those impacted were men. A new analysis of data over the last 2 decades shows black men are most affected by homicide, while white men were more likely to die of suicide. Firearm homicide rates for black people were nearly 7 times those of white people. And people with cluster headaches may be 3 times more likely to have other health conditions, forcing them to take far more time off work than those without the short but extremely painful headaches. A new study from the American Academy of Neurology finds those with cluster headaches may also suffer from heart disease, mental disorders, and other neurologic diseases. Researchers found that those with at least one other condition missed 4 times as many days of work. And if coming down with COVID-19 impacted your taste and smell, it may also mean you develop stronger immunity against the virus. A new study from Columbia University looked at more than 300 adults who got COVID in 2020. They found that those who lost their taste and smell were about twice as likely to have higher levels of COVID-19 antibodies. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And here's what we're watching in the weather department. We're going to stay cold through the weekend. We've got a slightly milder day for us on Sunday, and then we are watching snow chances as we head into next week. Right now, we've got clear conditions, but cold conditions. 29 in Joplin, feels like 19 with a west-southwest breeze at 11. Cold across the area, 30 Chinook, Chatopa, Miami, 29 Pittsburgh, Lamar, and Carthage as we start the day. Live camera from MoDOT looking at I-44 and Rangeline. Looks good so far. A green light for your morning drive as we're clear and cold, and a green light for that drive home. Same story, clear and cold. Kids getting on the bus today. It's going to be a chilly one. 30 degrees when they get on at 7 a.m. Mostly clear. West breeze starts to pick up a bit, 10 to 20 miles an hour. Later today, could be gusting upwards of 30. We're looking at 36 and partly cloudy by 3 o'clock. We'll have mostly clear to partly cloudy skies as we head through today with an unseasonably cool temperature of 39 degrees. And then as we head into tonight, our low is right about where it should be, a little bit off, but otherwise pretty close. 27 under mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. 7-day forecast. This is where the changes come in. Not yet. That is we head into next week. 37 tomorrow, 36 Saturday, closer to normal on Sunday at 42. Wintry mix and some snow possible Monday. We get down to 25. Snow possible on Thursday as well, 30 degrees down to 18. 36 Wednesday, and then we get into the end of the week. 33 on Thursday, wintry mix and snow possible, down to 8 Thursday night. More snow possible as we head into Friday, only 14 degrees, down to 4 Friday night. And on Christmas Eve day, mostly cloudy and only up to 15. And right now, Christmas Day is looking to be in the teens. We're looking at computer models, and they're kind of all over the place, but anywhere from a 1/4 inch to upwards of 3 or 4 inches possible with this snow. We'll have better amounts as we head through the weekend. And then with this next snow, if we do see snow on Thursday and Friday, the good news is we could get a white Christmas from this, because if we do see that snow, it's not going to melt by Christmas Day. Got a lot more KOAM Morning News right after this.
Right now at 6:30, a Parsons, Kansas man will go to prison after pleading guilty in a Labette County court to child sex crimes.
We've got another cold start for us today, and we've got even colder weather on the way, maybe some snow next week. We're going to take a look at all of that coming up.
And want to know about an environmentally friendly way to get rid of your Christmas tree? Amber Jenkins sits down with the Missouri Department of Conservation to find out how.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:31. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So another cold start for us today across the 4 states, and we best get used to it because that is how it's going to be. December and winter is starting to really settle in across the area. We do have clear skies in Joplin, but it is cold, 29 degrees with a west-southwest breeze at 11, making it feel like 19 out there. So that's just making a 10-degree difference, and that's with a light breeze. 27 Iola, 29 Fort Scott, 29 Lamar, Carthage, Neosho, Monette, and 30 in Miami and Chatopa. Live look at the MoDOT camera at I-44 and Rangeline. We're looking all right. Green light for your morning drive as we're clear and cold, and same for the drive home as we are clear and cold. Kids getting on the bus will need that jacket. We're looking at, well, that coat. I'm so used to saying jacket. Now they need that coat. 30 at 7 a.m. West wind starting to pick up 10 to 20, and later today that wind could be gusting upwards of 30, so we're looking at wind chills possibly down into the upper 20s and lower 30s. 36 by 3 o'clock under partly cloudy skies. We're going to head for a high of 39 today. We'll have some passing clouds, so some mostly clear to partly cloudy skies through the day. And same for the sky conditions tonight. We'll drop back down to a very chilly 27 degrees. Now, our high is a bit below average, but our low is actually a little bit closer to average for this time of year. Just, it's so cold because we've been so spoiled over the last several weeks with considerably warmer weather that this does feel a lot colder than what it actually is. We're supposed to be right about here. But it's going to get colder yet, and we are talking about some of that white stuff possibly as early as Monday of next week, and we'll break down your full 7-day forecast and the long range here in just a couple of minutes.
That's right. A lot to break down and talk about, for sure.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Labette County judge sentences a Parsons, Kansas man to prison for child sex crimes. 38-year-old Jared Bybee gets life in prison without parole after pleading no contest to 2 counts of aggravated criminal sodomy. Crimes occurred between 2013 and 2016 and involved 2 victims under the age of 10. 8 dogs are found wandering around the town of Chanute, Kansas, but it's not clear how they got there. Citizens of Chanute captured the 8 dogs this week. A local groomer volunteered her time after hours to help groom the dogs' matted coats. Wagging Tail's groomer said the dogs were not malnourished and recently had their dew claws clipped.
Once we shave them, they look completely healthy. It just would be like someone's family dog. And that's the hardest part to understand is someone was feeding them, taking the efforts to feed them and treat them for fleas and ticks because they had absolutely none on them.
All 8 dogs are safe with local families just in time for Christmas and the colder weather. Well, putting up a live Christmas tree is a long-standing tradition in many households, and now some people want to make a tradition out of repurposing that live Christmas tree. Amber Jenkins is in studio with us this morning to tell us more.
Thank you, Tanya. I spoke to 2 experts about how live Christmas trees can be repurposed for the environment. Going to a Christmas tree farm and picking out the perfect tree to bring home is a tradition Bridgestone Christmas Tree Farm takes pride in.
Because we'll have the hayride going, the kids' rides are going. We got a campfire you can sit around, roast marshmallows. It's more about making a tradition year after year, not just coming out and getting a Christmas tree.
After the festive activities are over, you can drop your tree at your local city public works.
And the city repurposes those by, I believe they mulch them up. And then most cities that mulch is free when you want to go pick it up.
Or if you like bird watching, your Christmas tree can become a new home to a little cardinal.
The birds will feed on the south side of it. So if you want to use this to provide yourself some bird feeding entertainment, some viewing entertainment, make sure to put it on the north side of your house because that way the birds will be feeding on the south side of that tree. The south side in the wintertime is traditionally the side that gets more warmth, more sun. So it can provide good shelter or good cover for ground feeding birds.
Discarded live Christmas trees are also great for fish habitation.
You can't just put it right on the edge of the pond. So live Christmas trees do make good fish habitat, but you got to have a way to get it out to a part of the pond where it will totally sink.
Whatever you decide to do, it can benefit the environment.
When you have a live Christmas tree, after the holiday season's over with, you can use that live Christmas tree to enhance your habitat around your home, and in that way it's kind of the gift that keeps on giving.
Repurposing a live Christmas tree after the holidays can turn your tradition into a positive environmental impact.
Amber, I have to ask, what do you prefer, a real tree or an artificial one?
That's a hard question because I grew up with artificial trees, and I like the fact that, you can drag it down from the attic whenever you need it, put it up and then put it away. But after doing this story, I might want to start getting a live Christmas tree because I didn't know that I could actually help the environment in such an easy and, easy way. So I might actually make the switch.
And you can't beat the smell of a fresh live Christmas tree,
Oh,
that's
yes.
for sure.
Yes, definitely.
All right, thank you, Amber. Well, this morning we are discussing schools going to 4-day weeks. At the start of the 2023-2024 school year, students and some staff at Independence, Missouri schools will move to that 4-day school week. The district says the new schedule will increase teacher recruitment and retention.
Now, many teachers say the 4-day week will help with burnout, giving them more time for planning and reduce stress. Parents say their biggest concern is childcare, and many feel the school board did not listen to all community voices. That does bring us to our question for you. Should schools switch to a 4-day week? So far, 60% of you say they should, 40% of you say they should not. And of course, make sure you vote through our website, through the app, and of course, take part in the discussion on our Facebook page. And something else that we are discussing is cold weather.
Yeah,
We're going to stay in the 30s as we head through Saturday. We're going to be close to normal on Sunday. We got the snow possibilities Monday into Tuesday. Get a break Wednesday, and then more snow possible Thursday and Friday. And that Arctic front Thursday drops us down to 8 Thursday night, only 14 Friday, 4 degrees Friday night. And as we head into Christmas Eve day, we're looking at only 15 for the high. And just so you know, Christmas Day itself also looking to only be in the teens.
And
So
even
cold weather on the way.
whether we get snow or not, like on Christmas, like if it's going to be so cold leading up to Christmas and there's snow on the ground,
We
it
could
may
have
not melt.
Yeah,
you
we
know?
could still have a white Christmas. The Thursday, Friday snow is going to be the biggest factor in that. If we actually get that snow and get a fair amount of it, then it's definitely not going to melt before Christmas Day.
See what sticks around. All right, that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News. The Senate reaches a unanimous decision to ban TikTok from all government devices. Is this the beginning of the end for the popular social media site?
Plus, it's cold. It's going to stay that way, as we mentioned. We'll take another look at your full forecast when we come back.
In Consumer Watch this morning, the Senate has unanimously passed legislation to ban TikTok from all government devices. The House must also pass the bill before it can reach the president's desk. Lawmakers from both parties have expressed security concerns over the China-based company that owns the popular social media platform. Several federal agencies, including the Defense and Homeland Security Departments, already ban employees from using TikTok on government devices. Grubhub says the burrito was the top takeout item for 2022 with around 4 million orders, followed by the cheeseburger and cheese pizza. Celebrate the burrito's popularity. Chipotle is offering $5 off all orders of $20 or more for Grubhub Plus members through the end of December. Among the other popular delivery items, the top alcohol order was beer, while the top dessert order was tiramisu. Interesting. Federal Reserve announced a smaller hike Wednesday than it had in its past 4 meetings as inflation shows some signs of easing. The central bank says more rate hikes are needed to cool down the worst inflation to hit the U.S. in 4 decades. Nichelle Medina reports.
When Bill Dunn goes shopping, the fixed-income Florida resident always has rising prices in mind.
They increase so much, I have to really look and decide whether I can afford them or not. I don't buy near as much as I used to.
On Wednesday, the Federal Reserve unveiled its latest move in the war on inflation. It's raising a key interest rate by 0.5 percentage point, the 7th increase in a row. That's less than the 3/4 boost in previous months, but the central bank is signaling more rate hikes in the new year.
Our focus right now is really on moving our policy stance to one that is restrictive enough to assure a return of inflation to our 2% goal over time. It's not on rate cuts. And we think that we'll have to maintain a restrictive stance of policy for some time.
This year, the Fed has raised rates 4.25 percentage points. The latest report on consumer prices shows they rose at an annual rate of 7.1% last month. That's down from October and June's peak of 9.1%. Still, economists say sitting down for a festive meal this holiday season is going to lighten the pocketbook even more.
It might cost you more than $1 more per person to put the same meal on the table that you were able to put on the table a year ago.
In its updated forecast, the Fed's policymakers predicted slower growth and higher unemployment for next year and 2024. Nichelle Medina, CBS News, San Diego.
The Fed chairman also says inflation in the service sector which is based largely on wages, could remain high for a while. That's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, we are starting off cold across the area. We have clear skies in Joplin, but we're at 29, feeling like 19 with a west-southwest breeze at 11. We're looking at wind chills later today, could be in the 20s to the lower 30s as the wind continues to increase. 30 in Chanute, 28 Parsons, Chetopa, 29 Miami, Neosho, Carthage, and Lamar, as well as Nevada. MoDOT camera at I-44 and Range Line looks pretty good so far. We got a green light for your morning drive as we are clear and cold, and the same for the drive home, clear and cold. Kids getting on that bus are going to need the coat going to and from school today. 30 degrees at 7 a.m. West wind starts to pick up at 10 to 20. And then when they get home, we're looking at 36, partly cloudy, and that wind could start to gust to about 30 miles an hour later today. As for today, our high a bit below average, 39 for the afternoon high, but a bit more sunshine. It'll be mostly clear to partly cloudy, and we'll hold on to mostly clear to partly cloudy skies heading into tonight as we drop back down to 27 degrees. 7-day forecast. We're up to 37 tomorrow. We're going to hold on to the 30s through Saturday, 42, so closer to normal on Sunday. Wintry mix and snow possible Monday night, and into Tuesday. A break Wednesday, then another system, an Arctic front rolls in on Thursday. 33, wintry mix snow down to 8. More snow possible Friday, only 14, down to 4 degrees by Friday night. And for Christmas Eve day, we are at 15 degrees. Absolutely cold. And Christmas Day, by the way, looking to be in the teens as well. We're looking at computer models. They're showing anywhere from 1/4 inch to upwards of maybe 4 inches of snow. So we'll keep a close eye on this and have refined amounts as we head through the weekend. And then if we do get this snow Thursday and Friday, we could have a white Christmas as this snow would not melt before Christmas Day. We've got birthdays and anniversaries just around the corner, but first let's take a look at what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Nate Burleson. Coming up on CBS Mornings, actors Ellie Kemper and Zach Cherry will be here to talk about hosting the Great American Baking Show and what they have in store for the holidays. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Corporal Gerard Pendergraft. The native of Joplin, Missouri, served in Germany from 1952 to 1954. To Corporal Gerard Pendergraft, we thank you, today's four-state hero.
All right, time for some Thursday birthdays here in the 4 states, and we're going to start in Fredonia with Noah Puckett turning 7. This comes happy birthday with love from Mommy and Daddy. Happy birthday, Noah.
And Banks Powell turning 9 years old this year in Pittsburgh. Happy birthday, Banks. Hope you have a great one.
And we've got Corbin Brown celebrating birthday number 14 yesterday in Girard. That made yesterday, by the way, his golden birthday. So a very happy birthday to you, Corbin.
All right. And this year, a sophomore at St. Mary's Colgan, Lauren O'Brien. Wow, it's been amazing watching you grow up, Lauren. 16 years old this year in Pittsburgh.
And we've got Dakota Leach celebrating birthday number 23 in St. Paul. A very happy birthday to you, Dakota.
And Drew Lovell is 27 years old this year. Happy birthday to Drew in Arma, Kansas.
And we've got Tandy Pike celebrating birthday number 54 in Nevada. Happy birthday, Tandy.
Cindy Harvey turning the big 7-0 this year. Cindy is in Benedict, Kansas.
And we've got Linda Sarton celebrating a birthday in Girard. Linda, happy birthday for you. And last but not least is Kylie Baylor celebrating birthday number 15 in Chanute. Happy birthday to all of you. And this was a very short list. We want to see it longer. You know how we feel about it. Tanya's going to tell you how to make it longer.
All you have to do is send us your picture and all the details at least 24 hours in advance to birthdays with an S at KOAMTV.com. Or you can use the email birthdays at KOAMnewsnow.com.
And when you go to our website, because you know it's got a lot of really cool things on it, it also has an option for you to sign up for the birthday club. If you're celebrating the birthday, make sure you take time to sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club. You get great deals from local businesses and a special note from your friends here at KOAM. So go over to KOAMnewsnow.com and sign up for the Birthday Club today. All right, here's what we're watching across the air. We're going to stay cold through the first half of the weekend. We're going to have a slightly milder day for us on Sunday, and then we're watching those snow chances next week. Now, right now, we are cold in Joplin, but we have mostly clear skies sitting at 29 degrees, west-southwest breeze at 11, making it feel like 19 out there. Temperatures across the region, cold, 28 Yates Center, 27 Fort Iola, 28 in Fort Scott. 29 Pittsburgh, Lamar, Carthage, Miami, and 30 down in Veneta. Yeah, I've lost my train of thought. Here we are. MoDOT camera, I-44 and range line. Looks good. We got a green light for your morning drive. This will be clear and cold, and the same thing for your drive home as we are clear and cold, but that'll be changing over the next few days. Kids getting on the bus, 30 degrees. Partly cloudy skies. West wind starting to pick up, though, 10 to 20. And when they get home, those gusts could be up to 30. We're looking at 36 and partly cloudy skies. So we're talking wind chill values down into the mid to upper 20s, maybe the lower 30s across the area. Slightly below average high of 39 today, but a bit more sunshine. Mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. Same situation tonight. Will be mostly clear to partly cloudy, dropping back down to 27, which is close to where we're supposed to be for this time of year. And then our extended forecast is where things get a little different. 37 tomorrow, 36 on Saturday, close to normal Sunday, 42. 38 Monday, watching the possibility of a wintry mix, maybe some snow down to 25. Some light snow could carry into Tuesday, 30. Computer models are kind of all over the place still on accumulations here, so we'll keep a close eye on this as we get through Friday and into the weekend. And of course, Sam Lane will have much more refined numbers by the Sunday evening forecast. We get a break from precip on Wednesday, 36, and then we have an Arctic front coming in Thursday. That's going to bring us a wintry mix and then some snow, 33 down to 8. Snow continues into Friday possibly, 14 for the high, down to 4 degrees Friday night and only 15 on Christmas Eve day. So if we do get this snow Thursday and Friday, we could potentially have a white Christmas because it would not have any opportunity to melt before Christmas Day. And by the way, Christmas Day also looking to be in the teens as well. So it is going to get downright cold next week, and that's going to make these temperatures feel almost like summertime by the time we get to next Friday. We'll be back with a lot more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Labette County judge sentences a Parsons, Kansas man to prison for child sex crimes. 38-year-old Jared Bybee gets life in prison without parole after pleading no contest to 2 counts of aggravated criminal sodomy. The crimes occurred between 2013 and 2016 and involved 2 victims under the age of 10. A Tulsa man faces 4 felony charges in Ottawa County for sex crimes involving children. Authorities arrested 30-year-old Michael Lamb Jr. and charged him for child solicitation and buying and possessing child pornography, among other crimes. He'll remain at the Tulsa County Jail until he is extradited to Ottawa County. 8 dogs are found wandering around the town of Chanute, Kansas, but it's not clear how they got there. Citizens of Chanute captured the 8 dogs this week. A local groomer volunteered her time after hours to help groom the dogs' matted coats. Wagon Tail's groomer said the dogs were not malnourished and recently had their dew claws clipped. Kansas company hosted an award ceremony celebrating fundraising efforts for a national organization. The Pumpin' Pete's Corporation hosted the ceremony in Parsons, Kansas. The awards were given to donors in a fundraising campaign for the CASA program. CASA, or Court-Appointed Special Advocates, supports abused or neglected children in court. Awards handed out include Most Funds Raised and Best Donation to Sale Ratio. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
Quick check of that forecast. Not a lot of warming today, 39 degrees, but a bit more sunshine. We'll be mostly clear to partly cloudy. As we head into tonight, we are mostly clear to partly cloudy as well, dropping back down to 27 degrees, and that 7-day forecast. Hanging on to the 30s through Saturday, a little warmer on Sunday. We're watching snow chances Monday into Tuesday. And then by Wednesday, we get a brief break before a big cool down makes its way in here, 36 and partly cloudy.
Well, coming up today at noon, we're making Mama Marie's wedding soup in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. More of the exclusive interview between CBS Evening News anchor and managing editor Nora O'Donnell and Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco as they discuss the nation's growing problem with fentanyl. That's ahead on CBS Mornings.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, we're headed back into the Chef Anthony Test Kitchen, where the chef will put the finishing touches on his festive holiday nuts.
Plus, we'll take a look back at the life and career of Stephen Twitch Boss, who passed away at the age of 40. That's going to wrap it up for us for now. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we're going to do it again today at noon.